crazy days of KFest. Those days of Protoss and Basic and Bytes. Roll out those lazy, hazy, crazy days of KFest. Dust off the Apple IIgs, don't sleep at night. Just fill your luggage up with floppy disks and cables. Then buy your ticket, now you're set. And at the dorm you'll see the hackers at their tables, making their projects, I don't think they're finished yet. Roll out those lazy, hazy, crazy days of KFest. Bring out the 2+ and plug in your gear. Roll out those lazy, hazy, crazy days of KFest. You'll wish that KFest could always be here.
Welcome to the special podcast live from KFest, the first edition of Retro Open ANTICHertz Mac Quarter Poly Floppy Drop. Thank you, Steve, for that fabulous musical intro.
Welcome.
Just to give everyone a background, in recent years there's been a special podcast from the show that includes hosts of some of the vintage computing podcasts. Last year was Open ANTICHertz with hosts from Open Apple, Antic, and 1 MHz. This year is an absolute embarrassment of riches. We have 9 podcasting hosts representing no less than 10 podcasts on this show that all agreed to come together and see if we can pull off a joint podcast without getting into a ruckus or talking over each other. So, let's go around, have everyone introduce themselves and the podcast in which they're involved. Carrington!
Hello, I'm Carrington, and I am indeed a retro podcaster, currently on the Retro Computing Roundtable and No Quarter.
All right. Paul?
Okay. I'm Paul. I am also a podcaster. I'm currently on the Retro Computing Roundtable and Drop 3 Inches.
I'm Kevin Savitz. I am co-host of Antic, the Atari 8-bit podcast, at AtariPodcast.com.
I'm Steve Weyhrich, and I'm an infrequent host on Retro Computing Roundtable.
And I'm Randy Kindig, also a co-host on Antic, the Atari 8-bit podcast, and Floppy Days.
Hi, my name is Ken Gagney, and I'm a podcaster.
Hi, Ken!
I'm the host of Polygamer and IndieCider.
Hi, I'm John from the Retro Maccast.
My name is Quinn Dunkey, and I'm associated with no podcast whatsoever.
I'm Mike, and I'm with several of these podcasts that have been mentioned already. Let's see what do I do?
You were recently cut loose from No Quarter.
See? I'm no longer with No Quarter.
So recently you didn't know it had just happened.
That's right. Am I still with Drop 3 Inches, Paul?
We'll see.
Okay.
There's a chance there? Okay, good.
And I think I'm still with Open Apple as well.
You're the sole host of Open Apple.
Oh.
So basically rejection all around.
Do this on the air and rip the Band-Aid off.
All right, well, we are at KFest. I thought maybe we would go around and everybody talk about their favorite sessions and discoveries that they had this week, some of their favorite moments. And we have some newcomers here. I know some first-timers. I know myself. And John, you're also a first-timer. And Quinn is a first-timer. So we want to get their perspectives. Carrington, you want to start?
I'm not a first-timer. I'm an old-timer. Which I fit in well at KansasFest.
How many times have you come?
I have been here. I think this is my 5th. I'm pretty sure my first time was 2007, and I only think that because I saw somebody wearing the KansasFest 2007 shirt. I'm like, I think that's the shirt I got. I only got one KansasFest shirt, and it was my first year, and I'm pretty sure it was that one. So that tells me 2007 was when I kicked off this mad adventure of KansasFesting. So I think this is my 5th time, maybe 4th time. I haven't gone every year since then. I want to go every year, though. Every year it comes up. I love it. Absolutely adore it. Yeah, it's been fantastic.
We're happy to have you.
It's good to be had.
So what have you enjoyed at this show?
Tons of stuff. The main thing is the camaraderie. Like, I love the sessions, and that's fantastic, but it's really about, it's the meeting the new people who share my interest, and that's amazing and swell. But honestly, it's the reuniting with nerdy pals that you see just once a year. There's so many people that I really enjoy hanging out with, I share a lot of interest with, and I feel real kinship to, and I only see them once a year. You only see them at KansasFest. And while I interact online, and that's great because we do share those interests, it's not the same as actually spending a few days, dorming together, doing sessions together, trading ideas, trading floppy disks, all of that. Like, nothing beats that. So that's my favorite thing. There were also a few sessions that I really enjoyed. The podcaster of No Fixed Address, Quinn Dunkey, she brought Veronica, and something I've been reading about for ages, since that was one of the sessions I was most excited about, to be able to get almost hands-on with it and take photos and hear all about it. That was just mind-blowing and fantastic. I like Jason Scott's session as well. I can't say it very well, but I really enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to the Lawless Legends session. That's another one that I came here really being excited about, but it's not till tomorrow as of this recording. Something that I saw, I think, either the last year or the year before is when they got announced and sort of demoed, so I'm really excited about getting more info about that. Oh, you know what? We did a programmer roundtable. There was a session. I think Mike dropped the ball completely, destroyed it, and ruined KansasFest for everybody. That's why we brought you here, Mike. We want to talk about that. No, and so because of that, there was a gap in the schedule. So a bunch of people who code just got in a circle. I came in the room on why is everyone gathered around in a circle? They're just talking coding, and I just got to sort of listen to that. And I found that really interesting, and it just... That was super fun, and I'm going to pitch that becomes a thing. I think a programmer roundtable should be at every KansasFest. That was incredibly valuable and fun and delightful, and so I want more of that. So everything is a delight. Love KansasFest.
I wish we had a little bit more unstructured time at KansasFest for events like that roundtable, because I saw a post on Facebook that said that we have things going on from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and there is just no time to work on your own projects or even just to mingle and meet people. And if you are somebody who is staying off campus here, then you're certainly going to be missing things because you need to get back to wherever you're coming from.
Good point.
So I love that we have so many sessions to choose from, and I think that's a great problem to have. But I also remember the KansasFest where that wasn't the situation, where we had events from 9 to 5 and that was it. And I think that those years were equally productive, but in different ways.
Nice. This is the only conference, like computer-oriented conference I go to, that doesn't have multiple tracks as well. So what's nice is you can go to every session if you want to.
Well, there was one time yesterday when
we had 3 sessions.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, some of you didn't miss mine because I was
exactly.
You know what? I'm taking that back. KansasFest blows.
Well, back in its early days when they had a lot of sessions, when it was a programmers conference, they had like 3 tracks to go through, and you had to pick what you wanted. But that was intended to be heavy duty, programmer-oriented stuff, and over a number of years it was lighter, fewer people, and as the numbers of people coming have grown, the numbers of people who say, hey, I've got something cool I want to talk about, that's grown.
KansasFest has also remained a remarkably accessible conference for a computer-oriented conference. Like, you do not have to be a coder to come here. Most of the sessions are about using, about playing, about just exploring. So it's really, really accessible to users, I think.
Yes.
Paul, how about you? What have you enjoyed here?
Well, so this is my third KansasFest, and I think actually what's going to end up happening here is we're all going to have the same stuff to say. So I don't want to steal everybody's things that they enjoy, but I agree with that. I mean, it is really about kind of like seeing people and the stuff that I really like seeing the projects and what people are presenting about the projects, but it's also really neat to connect with people that I've been interacting with online. I mean, one of the things that one of the things I've been working on recently is doing this disk imaging and trying to figure out ways that we can take a protected disk image and boot it on an emulator and that sort of thing. And so I've had a chance to sort of talk with the people who are really working on that also. And I hope to continue to be talking with them over the next couple days. So there's a chance to really kind of advance it much faster than just over 140 character communications. So, but yeah, no, it is really more about the people than the stuff, and yet I can't think of. I wouldn't want to be in tracks such that I would have to not go to some of the stuff that I've gone to. So it's a tough call. Maybe it should be a month. But anyway,
not with those showers.
Well, yeah,
or the beds.
That's true.
The lack of pillows.
Yeah.
Or the plastic beds.
So which show is this for you?
It's this one's my third.
Third, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we should clarify for people who aren't here or are listening that we're staying at Rutgers University and we're staying in dorms meant for younger, more tolerant people.
Like me.
Like Ken.
Get off my lawn.
It's like a communal showers sort of situation, and you're
Prison shower.
Prison showers,
Don't
pretty
drop the
much. Yeah, and it's fine for a few days. It's an adventure.
You have to bring your own pillow.
We did.
You should bring your own
Ken and I,
sheets.
before the thing started, Ken and I went to Target. And how many pillows did you buy?
I bought 8.
Yeah. How many did you manage to give away
Yeah,
or
did
sell
you-
or
did you
whatever?
find
No, they were all for me. I just laid one down throughout the plastic bed. And
Princess
just
of the Pea.
You slip a floppy disk under it, and Ken can tell you what's on it.
Well, that's Choplifter.
No, it was a pillow top bed. It was very comfortable.
Oh.
All right, Kevin, what's been your favorite?
Yeah, the awesome people is for sure. Seeing people that I only see once in a while. I love hanging out with Jason Scott, and I love seeing Ken, and I get to meet awesome people like Quinn, and so that's the number one thing for sure. But I love seeing like just the crazy stuff people manage to get Apple IIs to do. I mean it's stuff that I would and could never do. But then when you see like someone create a rocket launcher and connect it to their Apple II, and it was like a 9-year-old kid who did it with his dad. Awesome. And then Quinn like buys a couple of 6502 chips and goes, I'm going to build a computer now, and then friggin' does it like out of nothing, just like out of like I don't know, paper straws.
Gilligan's Island.
Sounds so easy when you say it like that. So many years.
And then I got to build something. I went to Vince Briel's like project, and where you can like build one of his kit computers, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna build this thing, and then I have barely ever soldered before, and then I sat there for like literally 7 hours, and when I was done, I had a working little 6502 base superboard with a keyboard and everything, and I only needed like my hand like held 3 times, and Vince only needed to like cuddle me and stop me from sobbing once. So no, and man, it was awesome. I got to do this thing, and so I could keep going, but it's been fun.
I have a question. Kevin, you being on Antic, you're kind of known more to be an Atari fellow.
Yes.
I'll say it. I'm willing to say it. This is a safe space. KansasFest is very much an Apple II oriented conference.
Yes.
Do you find it is it welcoming? Is it accessible? Is it like, why are you here?
It was until that moment.
Defend yourself.
Why are you here? It's an intonation again.
It's all about the intonation.
Yes, the Atari 800 is definitely my first love. Honestly, I came here last year. It was my first time, and I came because there is no Atari conference, and I decided to slum it with the next best thing.
Maybe there's a reason there's no Atari conference.
Maybe you're just not invited.
I'm just asking questions.
Not afraid to hit.
20 butlers.
There is an Atari party, though.
There's an
Oh,
Atari.
right.
We haven't got a part
So,
of it yet.
and then I found that the people here were absolutely brilliant and welcoming and ready to, be friends with and share the experience even with an Atari person. And I'm certainly glad I came back. And I will try to come again next time.
Didn't bother you that Jason Scott's slides all said Boo Atari on them?
Well, it's a little bit like 800, right? So maybe you can just sort of think of it as Atari 800.
Right, 800.
It was fine. It was like Find Waldo. It was like Find the Boo Atari on the slides.
He had to say that. He's at an Apple conference.
Yeah.
We should see what he says at the Atari conferences when he gets
He's just working the crowd. That's all he can do.
That's right. Pandering. That's all he does.
Steve, how about you?
Oh, well, this is probably I think it's the 7th or 8th time I've had a chance to be here. I've been not as many times as Tony, who's been to every one, but I was in 94, and then next time after that was not until after the 2000s, in 2003 when Woz came, and I've come intermittently since then, consistently over the last several years, and we've had just better and better keynote speakers. I came enjoying the chance to listen to Margaret Comstock of Soft Talk magazine, see what she had to say. I was a big fan of the magazine. It's just, if I could be a fanboy of something that's not the Apple II, it would be that magazine. It was just wonderful, and it was great hearing what she had to say about the days of starting it, because it was such an influential magazine in its day. So that was good to hear. And like I said, listening to Jason talking about the things he's doing with running an emulator for video games or an Apple II or whatever right in your web browser, so that you can just load up a program and run it right there without having to actually have the computer or even have a real emulator loading or on your computer is amazing. So and as was mentioned, the camaraderie, getting to see the people that you know again, getting to hear these talks about A2 Cloud and A2 Server and Apple II Pi hardware things that go on an Apple II that let you do things that nobody would have imagined they could have done 35 years ago.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
All right, well, I guess it's my turn. I'm going to say a lot of the same things that you guys already said, but the Internet Archive with Jason Scott was really cool, really interesting. I wasn't aware of all the things that he does there and all the great stuff that he's doing, and that was extremely interesting. Apple II development with Carrington, I thought that was a very interesting session.
You're welcome.
I missed that session. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
Basically, he taught us how with 5 little keystrokes to create a program and run it on your Apple II emulator.
I'm saying could have been 2.
Create a C program and run it on your Apple II emulator. So,
Nice.
Yeah. Very nice. Now I'm going to try to take what you've done and adapt it for the Atari, but thanks for the leg up there.
Good luck with that.
So, Randy, let me turn around to you and ask you the same question that Kevin was subjected to earlier. Are you primarily an Apple guy? And if not, why are you here?
I don't know that I'm primarily anything. I mean, with Floppy Days, I try to talk about all the various computers. Atari is probably, if I had to rank them, that would be my first choice. But I always wanted to own an Apple II, and when I finally got to own one, I wanted to learn more about it, and this conference just sounded amazing. And as Kevin said, there isn't anything like this for the Atari. So I called in a few favors and got my wife to agree to me coming. So I may never get to come again, but hey, I made it this year. I also enjoyed the sessions on all the Pi-based stuff. I'm really interested in the the Raspberry Pi. So the A2 Cloud, A2 Server stuff, and the Apple II Pi by David Schmenk are all really interesting stuff. The Jungle Adventure that you did, Ken, I know that's not really Apple related in particular, but it was fun. And I didn't get to finish it because I went to Carrington session. But
hear that, Ken?
Because of the multiple tracks we were having.
Yeah. Right.
And explain
Can you explain that? Because it was one of my favorite.
Absolutely.
Yeah, why don't you talk about that?
Sure. I just told John about this for the Retro Maccast, so you may be hearing this again, but I ran a game called Jungle Adventure, which is a parsley adventure created by Jared Sorensen of Memento Mori Theatrics. And it's basically a text adventure where the parser is replaced with a human being. So I memorize an entire script and map of what items are where and what they do, and then I subjected the audience to this game by asking them for 2-word commands like go north, get lamp, and by trying to keep track in my head of where they are and what's happening, I tell them the response or the results of their command. So I'll tell them what they see when they look at something, what it looks like, what's in their inventory, where the exits are. And we spent about an hour going through this jungle adventure. We had only budgeted an hour, but it ended up taking more than that. So about 10 of us retreated to another room to continue the game. And after about another 45 minutes, we did complete the adventure with a score of 85 out of 100. I had done a parsley adventure 4 years ago at KansasFest. That one was called Action Castle. This one was called Jungle Adventure. I have 3 more scripted at home that I can memorize and bring back to KFest. and I look forward to doing that.
Fantastic. I loved it. It was,
Yeah, it was
And I think
absolutely.
I think the neat thing about it is you have a room full of people, and every person gets one turn at a command in order.
Even if they really like to go over bridges.
or we don't always agree. Like, you go south, the next person's go north.
the next person goes out there, right? So you need to talk to the people around you and try to collaborate and form ideas as a group, and it's a lot of fun.
I was impressed with your ability to keep everything in mind. Like, you actually were an excellent parser, because we're all looking at maps we're making, and you just had to stand there and know where we were. And I got the moment it hit me that what you were doing was very impressive is when we restored a save game. I had to go back and say, okay, you're at this point. Here's your inventory, and I was like, wow, well done, Ken. Anyway, I was actually very impressed with your presentation.
There's a lot of improv involved, which is not my strong suit. I've done a lot of community theater. I work best off a script. But the written text adventure cannot anticipate all the strange commands an audience might throw at the parser. So there were some things where I had to think on my feet, and I hope I did well enough.
Ask Ken about parsley.
Parsley, Ken doesn't know anything about parsley.
I don't see a Ken here.
I hate parsley.
So to finish up, I just thought it was great to be able to meet and put faces to a lot of people. Ken, you and I had talked before, and Carrington, you and I had talked, and Paul, I knew your voice pretty well, and Steve, you and I had done a podcast together, but I hadn't met any of you in person, so it was great to finally put faces to names, and everybody has been great, and I got to meet some other well-known people in the community, like Jason Scott and Ivan Drucker, Vince Brill, and many, many others. So definitely, that was one of the highlights of the show for me. Ken, how about you?
Well, before I tell you some of my favorite sessions, I want to give you some background with the mindset I came into KFest with. For the last 7 KFest, I've been covering the event for Computer World. For 5 of the last 8 KFest, I covered it for Juice GS. For 11 of the last 12, I was marketing director helping to run the event on site. And for the last 3, I was helping cover it for Open Apple. I came into this KansasFest with none of those responsibilities. So this is the first KFest I've had like that since I was probably in college, which was longer ago than you think. And it's been really relaxing. Mike pointed out last year that I'm a lot easier to get along with when I have no responsibilities. So I hope that's been true, and I hope I hope this has been as much fun for everybody as it has been for me, because I've had a lot of fun just being able to sit back and go to the session. If I don't want to go to the session, that's okay, but I do because I love the sessions and I love the people. It's been great seeing everybody. I have often seen Mike in Denver prior to KansasFest. I see Paul in Boston all the time. Kevin and Jason Scott have both been guest speakers in the class I teach at Emerson. I bumped into Steve in Omaha at least once, I think. And I've spoken to Randy for his Floppy Days podcast, and I've been on Retro Maccast, and
I had lunch with you on Saturday.
That's right. I saw you in Chicago this past Sunday with
Sunday
with Poop. What was the name of the person we had to lunch with?
We're going to have to edit that one out.
I'm sorry. Is this a clean podcast?
Not anymore.
Anyway, we'll get back to that. And Quinn, I've never met you. I'm happy to meet you. Thank you. Welcome to the community.
You're welcome for meeting me.
I thank you.
No, it's mutual, of course.
But no, it's
Jack
Rubin. We finally got to meet Jack Rubin, who I've been emailing with for years. Sorry, it took me a moment to remember his name. Thank you, Carrington. But now that I'm here, I would like to point out some of the great things I've enjoyed, which is the vast number of first-timers we've had, like more than a dozen people. Mm-hmm. Last year was the first KFest I remember having ever attended where I didn't meet everybody. Like, people went home, I'm like, who was that guy? And I really didn't like that. So I made it more of a point this year to go out my way and say hello to everybody. I think I have successfully met everybody, including Ivan and Andrew Hogan, the son and father pair who were here for the rocket launching session. Only Ivan's name was on the schedule, so I was kind of surprised when his father had so much to say. But I thought it was great that they were able to collaborate like that. Andres Lozano gave a presentation this morning about a gentleman who has done art using the Apple II, which is pretty cool. Quinn, I previously mentioned. Mark Pilgrim, who every time I hear his name, I think of Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I just want to, get in a fight with him.
No, he's the best fighter in the province.
That's true. That's true. But I have been emailing with him for a couple of years, and he is going to be writing an article for Juice.js about his awesome session about emulation detection, which has the MESS world up in a tizzy because they didn't realize that you can tell from within the emulator if you are running in an emulator. Like, you can tell if you're on the holodeck or in the Matrix, and they don't like that because it's supposed to be authentic, computer and program.
Jason Scott said they've already patched it. They're so furious about it.
It is really.
We've
it is
created
really
an
amazing,
arms
though.
race. I mean, literally, this game has created a emulation detection arms race.
That's right.
That has started yesterday.
I mean, Mark Pilgrim will probably figure out a way to detect if the emulator has been patched to not be detectable.
That's not random enough.
This will happen. As previously mentioned, I had to miss Carrington's session due to Jungle Adventure, for which I regret. But I did get to attend Jason's session this morning. He's a very dynamic speaker, and he had only a half an hour, so he didn't waste any time going over the awesome emulation that he has with JSMS, which is JavaScript, not Jason Scott. Who knew?
And he still found time to say "Boo Atari" at least twice.
But he didn't let me take a picture of that slide. He raced through that as quickly as he could. That session was supposed to be tomorrow. He swapped with Martin Hay, who's doing the Lawless Legends presentation.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to that. I'm sorry we don't get to talk about that tonight. Ivan's A2 Cloud and A2 Server was awesome. He meant to do that last year, and he hit some bugs along the way that ended up being a showstoppers. So he had a year to fix them, and he did, and now it's awesome. And Peter Neubauer's session on Apple Talk networking was a good complement to that. The two of them just showed different ways that you can share files across networks that you didn't know the Apple II could be a part of. I think Ivan used his Apple II to put a file on a server, and then we were all able to download it during that same session. And I missed something. What was it that Dagan did? Did he hack the network?
He uploaded 3 files. One that says Dagan rules and
Yeah.
So was the
Dagan's
folders
overrated or something?
I put that one up.
Oh, you did that.
I
Okay.
looked in there and he put up Dagan rocks, Dagan rules, Dagan is awesome, so I put in Dagan's overrated.
So probably Ivan should have made that folder read only.
Probably.
so.
Live and learn. So. But no, it's been a great Kansas Fest. I love that we have 60 to 70 people here this year. Mm-hmm. I was here when there were only 28 people, and upward is not the direction you think an Apple II conference would go, but there it is. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ken. John, it's your first one, right?
Yeah, this is my first one, and I have gotten very little sleep this week in the best way possible.
I heard snoring during one of the conferences.
That was not me. That was not me. What can I say? If
it's not because the session was boring. It's just because it's been such a full week. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
If I could have picked a first Kansas Fest to come to, it sounds like this was a fantastic one for my first one. All the events have been great. I never realized how much connectivity there was possible between the Apple II and the current computer world. The Apple II Pi, the movie Inception of computers. You've got an Apple II with another computer inside it that can emulate another computer inside of there. You can access them all, and then you can access from the outside and pretend it's the computer you're on, and it's just what, is the top spinning? Is the top still spinning? That's all I wanted to know. The live action text adventure was fantastic. It was so much fun. What else can I say? It's all been a wonderful, fuzzy, happy blur.
Aww. Kind of like you.
All right, Quinn.
Well, I'm also a newbie, my first time. And yeah, I mean, the specific talks, my favorites are most of the same ones that have been mentioned, but I'll echo that it really has been about the people. I mean, the people in this room, for example, this is a little surreal for me because I'm avid listeners of all these podcasts, so all your voices are in my head all the time, and hearing those voices come out of all of your faces is extremely odd. But I'm slowly adapting. I mean, literally a couple times a week, one of you is talking in my head while I'm doing something. So
sorry.
Yeah.
You have no idea how sorry we are.
But I mean, I came, for the tech nostalgia, and I was surprised pleasantly by the people. I mean, the case in point for me was word got out I was looking for an Apple IIc Plus, and within 6 hours of me setting foot in the building, one appeared in my hand, and I'm not even entirely sure where it came from. So whoever that was, thank you. I think it came from Sean Fahey, but I don't exactly know. And yeah, so luckily I was able to give back a little bit. I helped Ian repair his 2C Plus with some parts I happen to have, so I felt good about that. And I'll mention one session, Sarah's Make Your Own Ornament session. Shout out for that, because that was fantastic. I learned how to cross stitch, or I'm not sure exactly if that's the right name for that activity, but we got to make little Apple IIe ornaments, which is adorable. And yeah, I mean, my brain has just been melted by what people are doing with these things. I mean, we just came out of a session where David Schmink was running GSOS on an Apple II Plus, and he had a contractor in India logged into his Apple II, and in writing code in the mini assembler from India, like you said, it was Inception. It was computers inside computers, and it was hard to follow towards the end of what all he was doing. So that was nuts. And yeah, and Jason Scott, I mean, obviously always entertaining. I mean, he hammered out that session. His passion for archiving this stuff is really contagious, and he's a joy to listen to. And I like his emphasis on the culture is what we're preserving, not the stuff. So he gets more excited by finding someone's weird old home videos, or in the context of this conference, finding that AppleSoft Basic program you wrote when you were 6. That's what he wants to preserve. We've all got copies of Choplifter, but he wants to preserve the weird stuff that's going to get lost if we don't catch it. So yeah, the whole thing has been amazing, except possibly the showers. It would be nice if the bathrooms had been labeled. There was some moments there until everyone agreed which ones were which. Otherwise, it's been great. I'll be back next year for sure.
Kevin, I think it's a high compliment what conferences people have chosen not to be at in order to be here. Jason was invited to a digital library convention, and he's not there. Brian Weiser is not at Comic-Con,
right.
which is the same time as KansasFest. What's that?
That's astounding.
Yeah.
That's a huge
And that's always what previously used to stop Brian Weiser from coming here. For years and years, he always said that he wanted to come to KansasFest and couldn't. And then 2 years ago, there was no conflict. 1 year ago, there was no conflict. This year, there is a conflict, but he just went for the hat trick, and he's back.
Mike, how about you?
Usually when I come to KansasFest, I have a list of tech problems that either I'm not able to solve on my own, or that I just don't have time to get to, and I can bring the equipment here and be with really smart people who can help me solve these problems immediately. I don't have to wait for email or even instant messaging or Carrington's mocking texts when I post something. I can get the help that I need, and this year I left at home in the garage a box of vinyl equipment, so most of the computers that I brought I can't use. And so it's forced me to kind of go and find other things to do and be social and hang out and talk more than I normally would, and that's been a really enriching and rewarding experience for me, because I'm not really a social person most of the time. If I can avoid icky things like personal talk and small talk and hearing details about people's lives, I do that.
Son.
And so I've sort of been forced to hack that problem by hanging out with people and having a really good time. So that's been, I think, the greatest experience for me this year. Of course, the sessions are all great, and I love going to sessions not really knowing what they're about, and seeing and being wowed by cool surprises that I never would have thought possible. And it amazes. I've been coming since 2005, and it amazes me that I keep being able to have these wow moments over and over again, and they're not just repetitions of what happened last year. So.
I just realized that even though I'm the youngest person here, I'm the person who's been coming the longest.
Yeah.
KansasFest keeps you young.
This is my 17th KFest.
17.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's the 10th one at this venue at Rockhurst. So I went for 7 years at Avila and 10 years here.
Did you say that when you come next year, you will have been coming half your life?
Yep, because next year
No,
will make
no,
my
old
next
is-
year will make my 18th, and I'll be 36 years old. So my first 18 years were KFest free, and the 18 years since then, yep.
Wow.
So how much are we getting paid for this 45-minute commercial for KFest?
Not enough.
We got pizza.
Well, but do you want to go around quickly and talk about what could be improved, what could be changed, what wasn't great? Then
No,
We could-
it's all perfect.
No, it's not perfect. I agree that this
Let's
year,
try it. We can always edit it
water
out.
pressure is always kind of crappy, and this year I think it was worse. There were
Wait.
some facility problems.
Did you say water pressure?
Water pressure.
I don't know what showers you're
There's
using.
some
Mine-
construction going on, so we were bounced out of the cafeteria we normally go to, and we've been eating downstairs in like a lounge thing.
But-
and I think the food has suffered. Because the food is
terrible.
and usually it's not.
I agree, but in return it'll be awesome next year. Because
It'll be the same food.
We'll have a new cafeteria.
It'll still be those same biscuits.
I think it's mostly monotonous. It wasn't that it was necessarily
There weren't a lot of
bad. It's
choices.
just monotonous.
Especially
Yeah.
for us vegetarians.
As
Oh, okay, yeah.
as Kevin had said,
Three
the
of us.
beds are not great for us old people. Like it's the world's worst mattress.
I'm not sure who they'd be
Just-
good for.
It's just like
And it's not like it's real, that part's really much different than it's been in the past. Somehow, in spite of the beds and the showers, we keep coming back.
And we don't spend a lot of time sleeping. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
It's okay.
I also want to clarify that Rockhurst, compared to our former host of Avila, is really quite good. The staff here is very accommodating and very friendly, and I think they do the best that they can.
Yeah.
You know, there happens to be the bad timing of us being here with the construction, but the construction has to happen, and for a school, the summer is the time to do it.
Oh yeah.
And I suppose there's one thing you can say is it's terrible, and yet all the time before this was spent saying this was a great conference. We all loved it. It was fantastic.
we all have
absolutely.
Stockholm syndrome.
Absolutely.
There are some things that aren't great about it. I mean, I love it.
Right.
Without hesitation, I'm coming next year. I'm coming every time they do it. I
Yeah.
love this conference.
And
It doesn't mean it's
bring
perfect.
an inflatable bed.
Right. It can always be improved. I want it to keep improving and get better and
it's
better.
not the Hyatt, but it's really cool.
And also consider that I've been to professional conferences where the registration fee is $2,000, and then you're paying for hotel and food on top of that.
Yeah.
We're paying $400, and that gets us everything.
And of course, here we're also asked adorable questions like, "What's an Apple II?"
Yes.
I just had a fellow sit in my room for about a half an hour. He was walking by dropping off a power supply he had borrowed from another attendee. And so he wanted to bring it back, wasn't sure what room that person was in. All the doors were shut. He found my door open, ducked in, saw the Apple II, said, "What's that?" Sat on the bed, and he wanted to know, well, is this the hard drive? I said, no, that's where the floppy drive is. He wanted to know, well, how does a floppy drive talk to the computer? This is a fellow who just graduated with a bioengineering degree. He's been off to med school, and he was really interested, but absolutely had no idea what a floppy drive was. None of that. So we did a quick review of old computers.
Yeah, I've talked to that student conference assistant. His name is Christian. He asks great questions. He's very
Christian.
curious.
Yeah.
He was returning a micro USB cable he borrowed from a mouse, I think.
Is there any sort of way that the students that are here to like do like an open house, like use have a couple hours set up where people set up we set up our systems, have the students come in, look at the stuff.
Yes. In fact, on Saturday, which is our vendor fair, about 3 or 4 years ago, we expanded that to include an exhibit hall. So people who don't have anything to sell but do have stuff to show can set up. Ostensibly, the exhibit hall is open to the public, and we do have a couple of local Kansas City attendees come just to look at stuff.
Nice.
But we don't do a very good job advertising it. And to get into the building, they still need a key card.
Oh, okay.
So usually the locals just end up knocking on the door until somebody lets them in. So I don't know how they're even finding out about it or how they're getting into the building, but I wish there were more of them, because I've actually made Juice GS sales to locals who were not registered to KansasFest and just came to the exhibit hall.
Nice.
And we should advertise that to the Rockhurst students too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like some sort of
Start putting flyers or
pan-generational educational opportunity.
Right. Yeah.
And I want to point out, as much as we're talking about the college dorm and the food and blah, 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 again, comparing it to going to a conference at a hotel, what you absolutely would not get at a hotel is the fact that these are people who can decorate the door, and the doors are open as you walk down the hall, and you can step in and talk to somebody. And frankly, at a hotel, I wouldn't want to do that.
I've tried that. No, they don't appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly.
What you doing?
But you can get that kind of camaraderie at a hotel kind of conference because it doesn't work out in a dorm like this. it just works out. It's like college days, and you feel like you're back in college days, and it actually is a great experience. It's a kind of experience you couldn't do any other way than the way they've chosen to do it here.
Yeah, my friends don't understand that KansasFest is not a 9-to-5 conference. It's 24/7 or 24/6.
Just label the bathrooms. That's all I ask.
Well, that's a good point.
That there was a serious snafu about that.
All right. Well, I think we've got some fun planned.
Yeah.
Kevin, you want to kick it off here?
Sure, we're going to play a game. And
It's called Special Places.
It's
It's your turn.
we're going to play a game. The game is called Two Truths and a Lie. And here's how it works. We are going to go around and we're going to each tell 3 things about ourselves. 2 of them are absolutely true, and 1 of them is a lie. And the rest of the group tries to guess which thing is the lie.
Do we keep score or anything like that?
No, it's just for fun.
Okay.
And, I think it's okay for the group to ask some follow-up questions, and, so, of course, we're telling you 3 things. You try to come up with 2 things that are true but seem like they couldn't be. For instance, one of my true things is I might say, I got my first computer by stealing it from a church raffle, which is true. And you wouldn't, think so unless you read my book, so I'm not going to use that one. But, so that's the game, 2 truths and a lie. Who would like to go first?
I nominate you, Kevin.
Yeah.
All right. I will
Yeah,
go
why don't you
first.
go first?
around
All
the
right.
table.
Okay. This is my Kevin's Bad Decisions edition of Two Truths and a Lie. Number 1. In 1994, under pseudonym, I wrote a book called Net Sex, The Complete Guide to the Adult Side of the Internet. Number 2. Bill Gates once called me an idiot. Number 3. I spent my 20th wedding anniversary at KansasFest.
So, once.
Yeah, that's what makes it false. I think.
It's not like I called him. It's not like I, talked to him every day. I only talked to him once, and he called me an idiot at that time.
Okay.
Well, I know that
I know the number
third one
three
was
is
true because
true,
last
yeah.
year you said you couldn't come back this year because it would be your 20th anniversary, and then you mentioned it again this week.
Right.
But even if you had mentioned it this week, I would remember it from last year.
Yeah.
So number 1 is eviction. Is that what we decided?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you did work for AOL. You were like their guru. But I think I sometimes confuse you with John Scalzi, who I think was actually like
I do that
AOL.
too.
Because I think he was like a love columnist for AOL or something back in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Really?
I do enjoy the fact that we're like, okay, Bill Gates could have interacted with him and maybe called him an idiot. Or it's plausible he wrote a net sex code. We're not all just
You'll believe any of that,
My
right?
truth are really interesting. I'm going to go with the net sex because you're not John Scalzi.
I'm going to think number 2 is the lie.
Bill Gates?
I think you wrote the
All right,
net
put
sex.
your hands up if you think it's the sex book.
That works well on an audio podcast.
I think it's one of
Most people.
It's good radio right there.
Yeah. And
I think you wrote the
maybe
second.
2.5 for the Bill Gates thing. The lie is Bill Gates. He never called me an idiot. I did co-write under pseudonym Net Sex, the complete guide to the adult
Is that
society of the
available?
internet in 1994. It's available on Amazon. It was written by Candy Rose and Dirk Thomas.
So we now know your porn name.
That's great.
Is that like your pet and the street you grew up on?
Oh, wow. I never.
No, yeah, right.
I've worked with you over a year now, Kevin. I didn't know this.
No, and that, wow, you
So Bill Gates doesn't know you're an Atari guy then, right? Otherwise,
He doesn't know I'm an idiot.
have you ever,
he would have gone out of his way to call you.
has he ever had the opportunity to call you an idiot?
No.
Okay.
But I had a whole backstory planned in case you guys asked, but now you guys aren't going to hear it.
Oh.
Who would like to go next?
Oh, no, they're rewriting.
Paul, how about you?
I could go.
Okay.
Okay, so 3 things that 2 of which are true and 1 is a lie. Okay, so I have to randomize these from the order that I wrote them in. When I first got my first,
The fact that you put "this is a lie" in the show notes doesn't
no, there's no hint in the show notes. So when I first got my Apple II as a kid, we got the Apple II and no working monitor that worked with it. So I sat and programmed blind a program that would beep at me feedback. That's one. When I was I think this was junior high, there was a computer lab. They were all networked with Corvus cards, and they all had little login screens. I wrote a program that I ran on all of the things that looked like the login screen, but they were interconnected so that when I hit, I think there was something I typed on one of them, and they would all start to whine, a very high-pitched whine, and annoy the lab guy. A People magazine was delivered to my family home twice, 30 years apart. Once in 1984 and once in 2014.
Like the same issue?
Yes. The very same issue. Those are my three things.
Well, I've done similar things to the first two you mentioned, so I'm going to have to say the third one.
But the People magazine is so weird.
It's so weird. It's got to be true.
Even at this, I was going to say what year is this?
So one of those.
How would you even make that up?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I guess this is maybe we don't know.
And Paul's certainly not that creative.
But Paul, I can imagine that you could code blind, and I can imagine you could.
I don't think you could do. I don't think you could have a monitor, not have a monitor, and knowing what you were doing trying to type on it. I think that's got.
I could see that happening. The families, there's one TV or whatever. The family's watching Greatest American Hero or whatever you did that back then, and I want to use the computer. So you're right.
But you could just print a Control-G or whatever. Like it could be a very simple, basic program you're reading on a magazine.
But if it's your first computer, you don't even know what it does when you turn it
We were
on. Is there a
camping,
prompt? You don't
and my
even know.
mom would not let me take my 2E with me. The people we were there with had their 2E but didn't have a monitor cable, and I did a program blind and saved it. So
You had experience. You knew,
Really?
you knew
Yes.
you knew what it was
Yes.
doing behind it.
And it worked?
Right.
I don't buy it. The beep is fiction.
What'd you say?
The beeping one is fiction.
The Corvus
Number
one.
two.
I think it's the Corvus
Yeah.
one.
I think it's a Corvus wine as well, which I know is the least weird of them. I'm going to go with Corvus wine. Is my guess.
Okay, so how do we do this? Do we count? Do we vote?
Yeah,
Or I
let's
just tell
vote.
you.
Let's vote.
All right.
Okay. Do I vote?
Who votes for Corvus wine being the false one?
Me. We're doing
One, two,
shows of
three,
hands
four.
on
I'm
microphones.
counting for
It's
the
terrible radio.
audience.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That's our slogan.
Terrible radio.
Do you have a better way
Retro
to do it?
pop.
Let's discuss it and
yeah.
reveal it.
Oh,
It
yeah.
doesn't
That
matter
seems
what we
probably
think.
about right. Yeah.
Who votes?
Why
There's
So
no
the false one was actually it was a Newsweek magazine.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
I found a bunch of stuff at my parents' house, and I shipped it. I was gonna have it shipped back to myself. It was so this was like old bank statements and magazines that seemed interesting and something like that. And I put them in a box. Turned out the bottom of the box was not particularly well sealed, and so partway through, everything re-entered the mail stream. and Newsweek showed up again, a 1984 Newsweek in 2014.
That's amazing.
It was very strange.
That is amazing.
Nice.
Changing the name of the magazine, not cool.
Sorry. Sorry. No, that was
Not
why I
cool.
was having a hard time coming up with the false thing.
Nice.
Randy, you want to go next?
Sure. Okay. First one. I have a bachelor's degree in nuclear engineering. Secondly, my first computer was an Atari 800. The third one is I have 20 acres in Montana.
Montana. Now I know you just changed one of the detail.
I think number 2 is false because you're such an openly Atari guy, and often people's favorite computer is not their first one.
Yeah.
I seem to recall you having mentioned both the nuclear engineering and the Montana acres.
Okay.
So I think the Atari one is so boring. It has to
I
be
know.
Congratulations.
I know that he has acreage in Montana.
But is it 20?
For all I know, it could be 19.2.
Exactly.
You can pull a People magazine on
Yeah,
us.
apparently that's what we're doing here.
the line.
I would say it's number 2. I would say you had something other than Atari
Yeah,
800.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You guys must listen to my podcast.
I don't.
Ouch. My first computer was a Terrace 80 Model 1.
Yeah, we know you too well.
Yeah. Sorry. All right.
Ken, you're next.
Okay. So here are, a couple of truths and a lie, not necessarily in that order. 1. I can play Pac-Man and Q*bert blindfolded. 2. The only Apple II print publication I've ever subscribed to is Juice GS. 3. I currently work at a school that rejected my application to study there.
3, I believe.
That's cool, Rutgers.
And I think it would not surprise me if the only Apple II one you have is Juice because you're just such a kid.
But at the same time, I also can play every video game ever made blindfolded. I can't play it well, but I can play them.
Yeah, there's some adverbs missing there.
Yeah, so... Like, I don't think you get into a kill screen blindfolded. In which case, awesome.
In case Billy Mitchell wants to talk to you.
My wife, I was saying this before the show, my wife has a story where she had Atari 2600 Pac-Man, and she got so good at it, she started playing it with her feet. And then she could still, get to level 10 or something.
It was love at first sight.
Absolutely.
You saw her playing with that joystick with her feet. And you're like, will you marry me?
Must be a clean podcast.
Is that,
Getting really close to home there. Yeah.
The thing is,
is that considered playing footsie? Or?
that's the name of the game.
It's late, I'm sorry.
The problem is, Ken is so good at video games, I do believe you
saw
actually
me
can play
play
them both
Structurus.
well blindfolded.
I think number 3 is the falsehood.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess it's the Juice GS one that you never actually subscribed to another magazine.
I pirated them, that's right.
Well, no, you could have just bought them. I don't know. I'm guessing.
I think 2 is fiction because I don't think you'd have a subscription to Juice GS because you've worked there forever. I think you just get them for free.
You're treating me like I'm still parsing a text adventure trying to screw it
Yes.
Examine Ken.
There is nothing to see here. Move along.
What's everybody else?
I thought you told me on the interview that I did with you that you were working at the school that you went to.
You don't listen to your own podcast.
I think we're divided here.
All right.
All right, what's the answer?
You'll never know.
Tune into the next year's episode.
So there's no vote on this one?
Okay, we're voting. I am voting. It's number 2 that it's a lie that the only Apple II print publication you've ever subscribed to is Juice GS. One of those things. You're either not subscribed now, you never subscribed. I don't know. Something in there is not real.
I'm going with the blindfold thing.
I think the blindfold is wrong.
I think the magazine.
Yeah,
I think
number
it's
2 as well.
I think it's the
With the
school.
magazine.
So we all unanimously think. Oh, you do think so. I was going to say
Yeah.
the only thing we agree on is
I'm
Ken
voting
was
different.
rejected.
Okay, well, I'll tell you definitely one of the truths is the only Apple II print publication I've ever subscribed to is Juice GS.
Oh,
Wow.
I did subscribe to soft disk, but that was on floppy disks. So that's why I put print publication.
Semantics.
It is, when you said I'm a kid, that's true. I was too young to have the sort of, leisure funds to invest in a print publication. I didn't really know about Soft Talk or Nibble or Insider or A+. I was not really a member of the Apple II community until the early 90s when I got on CompuServe. And by that point, a lot of the print pubs for the Apple II were fading away. Shall I continue with the other 2 things?
yeah.
There is some semantic wiggle room with these other 2. I currently work at a school that rejected my application to study there. Well, my day job is at MIT, and I went to a very similar school just a few miles away called WPI, Worcester Polytechnic Institute. They are often considered rivals. It would make total sense that I applied to one, couldn't get in, so I went to their rival. But I did not apply to MIT. This lie or truth applies to my night job teaching at Emerson College, which I also studied at. I graduated from there and now teach there, but they rejected my first application. I applied to grad school and to Computer World at the same time. I got into Computer World, and Emerson said, no, thank you.
So I was half right.
So the next year I applied to Emerson again, and then I got in.
So you can play Pac-Man and Qbert blindfolded?
No, I just told you 2 and 3 are true.
I couldn't even really follow what you're saying on the second one. I'm still not sure which one is true.
Carrington, if you want to take it literally, the number 1 is also true. I can play it blindfolded, as can anybody. I just don't play it very well. However, I did mean that I can, know what I'm doing. It's implied in that statement that I can actually play it well.
And the things that you said, nothing can be implied.
The truth behind number 1 is that I have 3 older brothers, and this statement is true of my oldest brother. He had some high records when he was a kid. He could walk into an arcade, put a single quarter in, and play Pac-Man or Qbert for like 8 hours at a time. And the arcade operator would only make a single quarter in those 8 hours. So when he walked in, they would actually pay him to play anything but Pac-Man. He was extorting the arcade. You know, like he would rack up so many lives, he'd just walk away to go to the bathroom. He'd have the joystick in one hand, a Big Mac in the other. You know, just sit there for hours.
He's a Q*bert wizard.
And yeah, Q*bert and Pac-Man, because they were all pattern-based games. If you do the same thing, the enemies will react the same way every time. There's no randomness.
Q*bert was pattern-based.
But I cannot do those things. So that is the lie. I cannot play Pac-Man and Q*bert blindfolded.
Okay.
Mike, would you like to go next?
Okay. In high school, I received a contract offer from Origin Systems based on an RPG that a friend of mine and I wrote together. He later went on to form the OneRing.net, the premier Lord of the Rings internet website for many years. I was once kicked out of a museum for programming the Apple IIs that were running their children's hands-on exhibits. And I received a commendation from the Commandant of the Marine Corps for improving their problem reporting system for helicopter pilots.
That's true.
Number 2 is true.
He was in the Marines.
I believe the third one.
But that could be the detail that makes us
Right.
think that's true.
And the first one was awfully detailed. If we took the time, we could look that up and verify.
The order of words matter because the second one he said children's hands-on museum, not vice versa.
Hands-on children.
That's why you got kicked out of the
I have to go knock on doors when I move into new neighborhoods.
I'm going to go with number 2, the museum.
Is true or false?
False. That's the lie, in my opinion. But
No, I think he did reprogram the computers at the Children's Museum.
I think so too. I'm
But
going to
maybe
go with one.
but he might not have gotten
Origin one.
I think Mike is so good that they never would have noticed, and I don't think they would have kicked him out.
Oh, he probably did it, but didn't
He
get
did say he did a good job reprogramming them.
Right. I mean, he got a commendation for reprogramming things.
That was the different age of his time part.
Number 1 is awfully specific. I'm
that's
going with
true.
the museam thing as the false one, too.
I'm going with number 1 as the false one because it's
Yeah,
specific
see,
enough. I think
that's-
it's one of those Paulisms where it's the it
think
wasn't
number one
Origin,
is
it was
not-
this other.
It happened to my brother.
I think number 1 is not true, but the other 2 are true.
Yeah, that's my vote. Too.
Or,
That's what
maybe
I
he got a contract from Newsweek.
We're 30 years apart. Okay, what's
All right. What is it?
The second one is false.
Yes! I win.
Sounds like something you do, though.
The museum
Did
one.
you do anything like that? Where'd that come from?
Not the hands-on children part. The Apple II part.
So did you got a contract offer from Origin?
Yes, my friend and I wrote part of an RPG, and we sent the code to Origin on a disk, and they immediately sent us a contract.
And what happened to that contract?
And my parents said, absolutely not. There's no way you're doing this. You are staying in school and focusing on your grades, and you can think about doing this after high school. So.
At the point when you're allowed to play, video games with devils on them.
Right, exactly. Well, Origin was the company that did Ultima and things like that. That was, for my parents, that was evil. So. No.
I used to go to the Museum of Science and Industry in Los Angeles, and there was this one exhibit that had Apple IIcs, I think, and I don't remember what the exhibit was, but there were like screens and it was just like at the bottom of one of the screens, it was just like programmed by Billy and Dave. This is not the museum's program. It was just like, you go, Billy and Dave. You wrote a program, convinced the museum to show it, and then give yourself credit in this computer that's like behind a lockbox where people can't see it. Nice. It's just like awesome. Forgot about that until just now. Who is next? Carrington, why don't you go next?
Oh, me. Okay.
All lies.
Yes. I hate you, and I hate you. Which one is the
I don't believe
Those are
any
all
of them.
true.
Okay, so my 3 are as follows. When I was a kid, I really wanted to play hockey, as all good Canadian boys want to. My parents insisted that I could not play hockey, could not sign up until I learned to skate, so they enrolled me in figure skating. And I actually was in a kid's ice-capade thing, and this is where the retro stuff comes in. I got to dress as a floppy disk that was stolen, this little patch. So I was dressed as a software pirate as a little kid in costume in a children's ice-capade. The embarrassment we will talk about on a microphone.
Picture didn't happen.
Doing figure skating. Number 2, I organized an actual attack with multiple people involving a truck. We attacked a homecoming parade, and that time I was dressed as a normal pirate. So these both have piracy in common. And third is my first, quote, real job, if you can say I've ever held one of those, but my first actual job was ghostwriting a programming class that I then subsequently took. So before grade 7, I was employed, wrote software, and wrote a whole class and tests and everything for the North York Board of Education. Subsequently, was enrolled in that class and did particularly well. So those are 2 true things and 1 ridiculous thing about me.
I know number 2, where you attack the float, is true. At some point in your life, you have told me that story, and that's not the kind of story I would forget or fabricate.
Number 3's got to be true because Carrington's entire childhood is characterized by low-grade short cons.
Yeah, I think
One's
figure
fiction.
skating is
Guys
a
don't
little bit far out.
skated.
1.
Yeah.
One, definitely.
I'm with everyone. 1.
Nobody who was dressing you would have known what a software pirate was.
Yeah, it's the software pirate detail that's what's wrecked it.
Mike,
Carrington.
what's your guess?
I think they're all a lie. I think your entire life is a lie.
True.
Okay, you all got it right. Yes, it is the case that I did all of that, minus the fact that I was a software pirate. I was dressed as a little mouse. I did have to do figure skating. I was in the escapade, and I was dressed up as a little mouse with huge ears.
Give pictures?
Yeah, pink ears, and I had to go out and do my
have
little
pictures?
And it was almost certainly there are pictures.
There will be pictures in the show notes.
Yeah.
The only thing that will be in the show
Glittering cups
notes.
and the whole thing, and it was only subsequent to that I was allowed to enroll in hockey.
We want your mother's phone number.
It makes you
Give me your phone. Give me your phone right now.
All the best hockey players do figure skate.
Sure, yes. Yeah, it actually served me quite well.
It
the
usually
figure
sounds mouse ears,
Yeah.
but
Yes, that was the
Wind
emergency part.
resistance. Yeah.
So, yeah, but I did actually, yes, that's how I got kicked out of the first university I attended. I attacked and destroyed most of the homecoming. And I was social commuter of a place called the Zoo. We had to build a float. Everyone builds a float, so you rent a flatbed truck and you build a float. I decided pirate ship would be cool. I decided attack ship would be even cooler. Paid the truck driver to pull out because we were last float. When we got on the Western Road and say, why don't you just go to the first? Why don't we try? And as we had sticks and we just attacked float after float and a wave of destruction all the way up the parade. And next year I was at University of Toronto.
And are there pictures?
Sure, yeah, made the news and everything. So yeah, you can Google it and find lots of photos of destroyed homecoming because of idiots.
It's a profile
Yes.
picture.
And now you can have a new Twitter handle of low-grade short cons.
And it was the case that the first paying gig, my first paying gig, if you listen to Floppy Days, was walking up into the street, basically doing a con. But then I got a real job from a teacher who was employed by the North York Board of Education. He was supposed to write a logo course. It was all logo and got little stars and stuff and test people on it. He was a 2-door down neighbor, didn't know anything about computers, knew that I just had got one somehow. And he was like, that sounds really cool. And he basically paid me to do that, but not tell anybody I had done it. And then I was very surprised when a year and a half later, of course, I'm like, well, I'm going to do well on this. Yeah, so that's me.
Wow. Quinn.
all right. Let's see. Number 1, I reported a bug in the Super Serial card for the Apple II, and Apple fixed it in the Rev C card. The Rev C being the one basically everybody has. Number 2, I'm secretly a race car driver. Number 3, Richard Lord British Garriott threatened me with legal action.
I don't think you're old enough to have messed around with a serial card, super serial card.
So the race car driver and the
I'm totally
I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Yeah.
Pretty tempted for 1.
Well, the race car part, you said you're secretly a race car driver, but I think it was pretty evident from having visited your website.
Yeah, but on the most recent Open Apple, she talked about the whole, I want to port Ultima 6. I'm going to go with 7. I'm not looking. Tell the base, but I'm pretty sure it's 6.
Yeah.
And she said, hey, I've developed the engine for that. Can I have all of your IP, please, for free? And they wrote back in no uncertain terms, who do you think you are? Shut it down. I'm pretty sure that was Ultima. So I think she was threatened by
Yeah, I
purchase. She is a race car driver.
Wait, it's
And probably did do the cereal.
That's not fair. Mike
They
and
probably
Quinn
fixed it in
of
revision
Open
B.
Apple both send their source code to Origin. One gets a contract, the other gets a lawsuit. That's not fair.
But the thing is, it could
Mine
be
was
a
based
secret
on Lord of the
thing.
Rings. Hers was based on something they already did.
But she's not secretly, I think you're right, a race car driver. So it could be that 1 and 2 are true.
Is this the whole semantic thing again?
Yeah.
I think it's secretly in the fact that she hasn't told us yet.
Yeah.
But I stalked her, so I know these
I'd
things.
actually believe
If it's on her website, then it's not a secret. Therefore, it's the lie.
Well, and perhaps
I'm-
Apple only fixed it in Rev D.
I'm still going to go with Super Cereal. Is the lie.
Yeah, I think I will too. But I'm
She's
not
a serial liar.
I'm going to vote for 1.
Short con votes 1 too.
All right. Yeah, coming up with one that was interesting and plausible and also retro-related was tough. Yeah, number 1's the fiction. I had nothing to do with anything in the Super Serial card. Yeah, all right. Secretly, I'm not playing nonsense theatrical stand-up games like everyone else seems to be, so I threw the word secretly in there for colored language, but if you want to all obsess over that, that's on you. Yes, one of my other hobbies is racing cars. And yes, I got a very strongly worded cease and desist letter from Origin Systems in response to me asking if I could please port Ultima 6 to the 2GS. I told the whole story on Open Apple, but yeah, the short version is that I built an engine and just needed the artwork and the maps. And in my 15-year-old naivete, I thought, I'll just ask for it and they'll be thrilled because they didn't
You
have
did all the
to.
work.
I wrote all this code and they'll love me for it. And yeah, not so much.
Well, you know what you
Did
said-
you ever
you
just
still
think
have-
about creating your own art and calling it Ultima or something like that?
Ultima with an A.
Well, so I did end up just making my own art, and I never quite finished it on the GS, but then I later ported the engine to the Mac, so there is actually a Mac version of that game. And I made a sequel as well on the Mac.
Wait, is it?
And where is it available?
Well, it only ran on early Motorola Macs, so it only runs on like
Yes.
020, 030, 040.
Okay.
You got every Mac ever
Here, I forgot what room I'm in here.
That's not a problem.
So, yeah, I'll have to dig and find the executables.
Either put it on Macintosh Garden or Mac GUI.
All right, yeah, I'll have to dig. There, I've got them
On
somewhere.
Dave Finnegan's
Awesome.
site?
Yeah.
Parents' basement.
Matt Gooey?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think I actually have that.
Love
It
it.
might even be
Yeah,
on the
great
sheet.
site.
That's
Zip file
awesome.
somewhere.
Dr. Steve.
After all these exciting things people have talked about, my choice is actually fairly,
You've had the last hour to rewrite.
Killed a man to see him die.
I was just so entertained by reading all these, I didn't even go back to look at what I put down. Well, I have three things. One of them is that my wife and I keep bees. The second one is that we breed dogs. The two non-computer things, but we do that. And the third thing is that I got my start in computing operating a mainframe by myself.
We like to ask questions. Keep bees from what?
Children's museums.
He breeds dogs with bees in their mouths, and when they bark, they shoot bees at you.
Nice.
There's a connection between the two, yes.
Okay. I know one is true. I know you keep bees. Because you gave me some honey at KFest one year.
Oh, did you that?
You brought me a bottle that said, like,
Oh,
like,
that's
No,
not
it's just because he does the long con.
He gave kids.
3 years from now, I will be asked.
I admire your work.
That's a lot of work for this stupid game.
So when you wonder why I'll
So-
give you peanut butter later this weekend? 3 years from now.
Because of that, I'm going to guess the dogs one. I think it's more likely you actually operated a mainframe by yourself than that you're breeding dogs. This is what I'm going to guess.
Inclined to
No.
agree.
Now, see, I interviewed you for a paper I wrote for school, and I don't remember.
You got your honey.
I don't remember you mentioning operating a mainframe by yourself, but I also know that I've been communicating with you for years, and you've never once mentioned dogs. So I gotta say that's the lie.
Have dogs.
Did he mention bees?
Oh, yeah. I've seen pictures of him with his apiary gear.
Yes.
Throwing dogs at the...
Shooting them from his palms. Oh, wait, that's Bioshock. Never mind.
All right, what's the answer?
I think it's number 3.
Do you think there was?
Oh, you're going to guess three.
Also-
Okay, I'm going
I think it's
two.
the dogs.
I think dogs.
You're no dog breeder.
Okay, well, we have owned dogs ever since we've been married, but it's true we do not breed them.
Okay.
And we, I guess you could say we breed bees. I don't know. They kind of just take care of that themselves.
Little tiny candles set the mood.
Nice music.
No, the computer in
These white
college,
scandals?
we had this wonderful little IBM mainframe called the IBM 1130, which was easily small enough to fit in smaller than this room, but it had this lovely line printer, card reader, and it was not so busy. It was one in the computer class you could actually take the cards in, run it yourself, make changes, run it yourself again. And other smart people there didn't spend all their time in the computer center like I did. So I could just pick any time when nobody was there, and I had little switches I could put in there so I could actually do my programs on the IBM Selectric console there instead of typing all those stupid cards. So I kind of had my own personal computer in college, even though other people came and wanted to use it for things like running grade reports and stuff. But yep, that one's the true one.
John.
All right,
Your
mine
turn,
are
sir.
nearly as theatrical as some of the ones that I've heard.
The lie is he's speaking with his diaphragm right now.
He attacked the parade with beads.
I used to be a bomb disposal specialist. I used to go to an Apple II users group at a Mexican restaurant in Germany.
I can't believe already I think those both have to be true.
I was born with an extra pinky toe.
That's pretty easy to verify.
I didn't say I still had an extra pinky toe.
Or where? That's not a toe.
Hello.
I was born with an extra big toe. Oh, no.
And then it got blown off by a bomb because he was really bad at his job.
In a Mexican restaurant.
It's written up in People magazine 30 years later.
30 years later.
Because of that, he got his job at Origin.
If you were in the military, 1 and 2 could easily be true because you would have spent time in Germany and could.
Okay.
But if he had an extra toe, he wouldn't be allowed in the military.
Which might be why the toe
But it was
was.
fixed.
they got
It was
removed
fixed
it.
when he was a child.
you
Yes,
were
As a doctor, wouldn't you say that if the child was born with an extra toe, they would normally
They'd probably just
right then and
cut
there
it off right there in the
Yeah.
delivery room.
And then they realized they counted wrong.
glue?
Your glasses.
They needed you to sign the
I'm in
pinky
Nancy.
before they could come.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
How's that?
Come again?
I'm going to vote for the toe.
Yeah, I say the toe.
Weirdly, I also think it's
Off with
more
his
likely
toe.
that you are a bomb disposal artist who spent time in a Mexican restaurant in Germany talking about the Apple II. That is both more likely than you had an extra toe.
But if he grew up with the Apple II, wouldn't he have come to KFest sooner?
he couldn't get here because of the toe.
And he was in Germany fixing
No,
bombs.
we know the Apple II is the first one for you.
It's the foundation, but he moved on to the Mac, so.
That's where he got stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stung by the bees.
Okay, so what's the consensus?
Toe.
When you say bomb disposal, do you
Bomb
mean the
disposal.
little Mac bomb?
Toe.
He was actually just tech
You
support.
just worked in IT. Is that what that means?
I tried turning him off and on
It's a
again.
really cool way to say
Yeah, it was the toe. I did not have a toe. I did not have an extra toe.
An extra toe.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, bomb disposal.
That's cool.
So I take it you were
Yes.
successful.
Yeah, I didn't lose any extra
Wait,
toes.
are you coming to the movies with us tomorrow night?
I'm not. I've
Because
got to
if it
leave at
sucks, we're gonna need
4 in the
you.
morning. Oh, diffuse the movie.
Will there be bombs there? Is that?
Well, that's what-
that's
yeah.
what I said. Oh,
Your
I'm
joke
not
is the
now,
only
sorry.
bomb around here, sir.
Diffuse that joke.
Why are you my frenemy? Why couldn't I have a better frenemy?
Yes, the surrealness of meeting at a Mexican restaurant in Germany to talk about Apple IIs was
Surreal.
wonderful. Yeah. Great food.
You were there for the food.
No, it's just but the owner of the restaurant was an Apple II user, so that's why we get to
Was
use
he
his
Mexican or
restaurant.
German?
He was German.
The food was Mexican. They named the restaurants after the food, Ken, not the racism.
Polygamer.
The owner.
Anyway, wow. All about inclusion and diversity.
All right. Well, this has been a great time.
All right, yeah, it has been. So, to kind of wrap things up here, can we kind of go around the table and let everyone pitch their podcast and tell us your favorite Apple II application?
I don't do a podcast.
Okay, we know better.
I'm not sure our audience can tell that you're joking, Quinn. I can't tell that you're joking.
So there's been a
Cheap
thing.
sarcasm, officer.
Yes. Quinn has been
Right there
invited
in my title.
to be in a podcast and is
Holding out for more money.
More than zero.
But we are. She's
not
here
admitting
now
to it.
because we know she's going to accept / be forced to be in it.
Nope, I will definitely not be
blackmailed or
co-hosting
something.
Open Apple anytime in the near future.
But no quarter would like to announce.
Okay, so you don't have a podcast, Quinn, but what is your favorite Apple II program?
My favorite Apple II program?
Yep.
Oh boy.
I was going to say game when I wrote the question, but it doesn't have to be a game.
Yeah.
Should we specify a non-game, or does it not matter?
That doesn't matter. Whatever your favorite application.
You know what, I'm gonna say Locksmith actually, because
Good choice.
in addition to being a nasty little pirate, I was just fascinated by that software and how it worked and how it made magic things happen. And it copied Bard's Tale, the first Bard's Tale. Bard's Tale had something weird about the track 6 where it was impossible to copy with anything. And Locksmith also would not copy it, but for some reason, I didn't know anything about copy protection at the time, and I just kept trying Locksmith, and I just tried to copy it like 60, 70 times. For some reason, like on the 73rd try, it just worked. And to this day, I have no idea why.
It got a read error, but a really lucky one.
Yeah, I don't know if it was one of those track offset things or something, and it got lucky once, but for whatever reason, and then after that, it was always copyable forever. The copy that I made was then unprotected.
Cracker.
And I felt like a
Nice.
total cracker.
Totally.
That's racist.
Well, wait, that came out weird. But yeah, so Locksmith gets my vote. It was magic to me.
All right, Mike?
I am the solo host of Open Apple.
That's right.
So far.
Who is Open Apple of interest to? As if someone has never heard it before, who wants to?
Nobody.
Nobody.
No. I co-host No Quarter with Mr. Whitfield Vanston next to me.
Carrington Whitfield Vanston.
Whitfield. And I also co-host Drop 3 Inches with Paul.
Which is a new Apple III podcast.
It is. Yes. And favorite Apple II program probably had to be the Computist Super IOB routine that allowed you to deprotect programs by modifying the read-write track sector to copy otherwise uncopyable data.
I started a theme.
Yes, you did.
Dirty Pirates.
Short con.
I'm going to go attack a homecoming parade next.
With bees! Attacking it with
Bees
bees!
and bombs.
And dogs.
People magazine.
So my name is Carrington, and I am co-host on 3 podcasts regularly. No Quarter with Mike, Retro Computing Roundtable with a few various sundry people, and Double Take, which is a movie review podcast I do as well, weekly-ish. Favorite Apple II software, depending on the day you ask me, it would be any of a number of different Infocom games. Text adventures are my true love. Most recently, which isn't really that recently, I finished The Lurking Horror, and so that looms largest and most enjoyable in my mind. So I'm going to select The Lurking Horror as my current favorite Apple II software.
Carrington, you want to talk about the possible podcast that you're working on?
Sure, yeah. Few have been on the edge of launch for quite a while, and 1 MHz will probably eventually come back. You heard it here first, folks.
Say that in every podcast.
We've heard it first a lot of times.
So I have finished now producing a series of podcasts called Podcaster Relay, in which one podcaster A, interviews podcaster B. In this next episode, podcaster B interviews podcaster C and goes down the line. So it's going to be done as a series and then released as series. And the first series is just finished. So that should be out within the month, I think. I'm hoping. I mean, sometime in 2015 with the way I do things.
And it's
the
a
next,
specific theme, right?
yeah, each one is theme-based. The first one was science-based podcast.
Yeah.
So each one is some sort of, in some way, a science-based podcast. And so I haven't picked the theme for the second one yet. Or maybe I'll just sit here right now we'll do it. Look to your left and let's knock out 7 episodes. And the 80s Alphabet will be the next solo podcast we'll be launching, which is a very short podcast in which I look at a single topic, letter-based, from the 80s. So the first one is A is for Apocalypse. So, yeah.
I was hoping it was going to be Alf.
No, well, maybe in the second series.
All right, great. Paul?
All right, so I am co-host on a couple of things. I'm co-host on Drop 3 Inches with Mike. I am co-host on Retro Computing Roundtable. That's it, I think. I sort of feel obliged to say that something like my favorite Apple II software is the Apple II emulator that you run on the Apple III. But probably I would say actually it's That's a tough call, but Droll maybe. That was a very cool,
Great game.
So I'll say Droll, although that's one that substitutes in for many possible other alternatives. I'll leave it there.
Okay.
I am Kevin. I am co-host of ANTIC, the Atari 8-bit podcast. When you get tired of your Apple II,
You are tired of life.
why don't you try a computer with 256 colors and 4 channels of sound?
Ooh, Atari.
Can you remind us, does ANTIC stand for something? Is that an acronym?
And if you listen to my podcast, you might
You'll find it out.
because I can't remember right now. I had a 2C back in the day, and at the time, I was really, for a while, enchanted with Fantavision, which was an app where you could draw like a square, and then in the next frame draw a circle, and it would animate between them. It would do the tweening images, and I just thought that was really cool, and I enjoyed that. Today, Choplifter, my favorite.
Great choice.
Keith?
Steve Weyhrich, and I'm on the Retro Computing Roundtable from time to time. The most useful Apple II app that I ever had was AppleWorks. I used that all the time back when I was using when I had a 2GS, it was really just a big, fast AppleWorks machine for me. But when I have to look at games, I had some games I tried here and there, but the ones I kept coming back to, I agree with Carrington, were the Infocom text adventure games. Those were just very fun to play.
Okay, I'm Randy, co-host of Antic. Kevin already talked about Antic, so I'm not going to go into more detail there. Also host of Floppy Days, which is a general vintage computer podcast, and I cover vintage computers in the order that they came out, research them, talk about their history, and current information about them. So I've been doing that for a year and a half now. And as far as my favorite Apple II application, I've only had an Apple for a couple years. I'd say my favorite app is Apple Invaders. I love those kind of games. Apple, Invaders or Space Invaders, Galaxian, Galaga, those kind of games. So Apple Invaders is my favorite.
This is Ken Gagney, and I am the sole host of Polygamer, which explores issues of equality and diversity in the gaming industry by interviewing people who are advancing those topics. I'm also the host of IndieCider, which plays indie games that are self-published by the developers, and then interviews those developers about the game that I just played. My favorite Apple II program, gosh, Steve said AppleWorks, which is the program I've used the most throughout my life, including to today. Other programs I've thought of in the last few minutes include Carl Bunker's Utilities Quit2 and Filetrix, David Schmidt's ADT Pro, games like Oregon Trail, which still are being remade nowadays, or Brian Peachy's Retro Fever, which is pretty awesome. But I'm going to cheat a little bit and go with Microzine, which is not a single program. It's a monthly magazine or so, published by Scholastic. There were over 36 issues, most of which I have, courtesy of the generosity of KFesters. We had it in my school lab when I was in grade school, and since I was like the only kid with a computer in his home, they let me bring home an issue of Scholastic every weekend and bring it back on Monday. And there were just so many Saturday mornings when I woke up before anybody else in the house, so I could have the computer to myself, and just spent the whole morning playing those adventures.
Very nice. And I'm John from the Retro Maccast, and my favorite, I think my all-time favorite Apple II game, Snakebite. I play that for hours.
Doesn't seem right that we got all the way around without anybody mentioning Lode Runner and Choplifter. So
I said,
well,
Did you? All right.
I was only
Lode Runner.
and I was only said they only said one. I couldn't.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do that.
That's so cliche.
it's a pretty good game, Lode Runner. You should
Because
check
otherwise,
it out.
Diamond
Yeah.
Mine would have been on my list also.
And I should put it, ADT Pro. I don't know how I failed to think of that.
That's definitely a good one.
So anyway,
Wait, John, did you?
It's like super magic.
Yeah.
I recently did a video interview with my father, for Father's Day about his history with gaming, because he's the one who got me into
That
the
was
Apple II, to
fantastic.
video games.
Yes, I did.
And I asked him, so like, what was your first game? And he said Snakebite.
Yep.
He couldn't remember the name, and he thought it was a worm.
But I was when I was on that, I'm like, it's Snakebite. He's talking about Snakebite. And I go, yeah.
And then it pops up on the screen. That was it.
Yep.
We've also learned that John does a crazy good Alf impression.
Is that true? A for Elf.
Anyone have anything else they want to say?
KansasFest is amazing. I am so glad I'm here, and I'm going to come every year as long as they have it.
Apple II forever.